How to tell someone that you like them. Hi guys, my name is Christine and today I'm discussing how to tell someone that you like them. So I recently made a video on the right balance, and basically this is the right balance that you should have when you start pursuing someone that you like. And in that video someone asked a question, and you can go and watch that video for yourself, but someone asked a question basically saying, how should I kind of tell someone that I like them without coming on too strong? So in this video, I'm going to talk about that a lot more in depth. But before we get into that, if you haven't done so already, then please leave a like on this video and please do subscribe. If you have any tips yourself, or you have a question that you would like me to answer in a future video, or a topic that you'd like me to discuss, then please leave it down in the comment section. Thank you so much. So how can you tell someone that you like them without coming on too strong? And basically, when you do this kind of thing, it all depends on the attitude that you have. Now, obviously, a lot of people these days, they ask people out over text, which, is fine. It's just the day and age that we live in these days. A lot of people use that method, and it's a lot more risk-free, I guess you could say, because you can kind of construct how you want to say it. And also, you can ask someone out in person. You can tell someone that you like them in person. So personally, I think the best method is to be concise about it and to not elaborate, because the moment you start elaborating on how you feel and how they make you feel, that's when you'll start to lose them, okay? And the reason why that is because if they haven't really seen you in that way yet, let's say they haven't really thought about you in that way, and by the way, if someone doesn't think about you in that way, or hasn't started thinking about you in that way, doesn't mean that they won't in the future. The reason why elaborating on your feelings, and the reason why basically saying things like I love you, making these big declarations before you start actually dating them, it's gonna feel very strange to them, because you're going from basically like a 0 to 100. So let's say you know this person at work or at school, and you've been friends for a while, and you know each other and you're acquaintances, and then all of a sudden you message them saying that you're in love with them. It's going to seem like a bit of a shock to them, and they're not really going to know how to react, because you're coming from this place of I'm in love with you, let's be together, let's be in a relationship, yet they haven't developed those feelings yet. So it's important to know that people fall in love a lot differently, and not everyone is going to be on the same page all of the time. So even though you might have really strong feelings for this person, that person might not necessarily have those feelings for you at all or yet, okay? So the best thing to do, the best way to approach it, is to just simply ask them out on a date. Not really going into how much you feel about them or saying that you love them. It's best to just keep it short and keep it sweet. So the best thing for you to say, especially if you've known this person for a while, you might even be friends, you might even be really close friends, or it could be just an acquaintance. The best thing for you to do is when you approach them or when you message them, first address the big elephant in the room, which is this is kind of random, or this is kind of going to sound kind of out of the blue. Because if you just straight out, flat out, just say, will you go out with me, or when are you free to hang out because I really like you, it might seem a bit like, a bit abrupt, which I've told people to do in the past, and I kind of take back some of the things I have said in the past about the best way to ask someone out. But you do kind of need to address the fact that this might be coming out of the blue, okay? So you might say, this is random, or hey, this is going to sound a little bit out of the blue, so get that done with first. Get the awkward bit out of the way first. And also by saying something like that, it actually makes it a lot more lighthearted and a lot more a lot less intense. So after you've said something like this is random, or this is going to sound a little bit out of the blue, then go into saying to them, I actually think you're really cute, or I actually find you really attractive, something like that. And then ask them in the same sentence, or in the same paragraph, in the same message, when are you free to go out for a drink with me? And then you basically then, after you've asked when are you free to meet up for a drink, you have to not say anything after that. You have to wait for their response. You don't want to interrupt them, especially if you are saying this to them in person. I remember once this guy asked me out like he was someone I used to go to like university with, and was at the bus stop, and he was there standing next to me, and he was like, "Oh, when would you like to go and have a drink sometime?" And then he didn't let me answer. Like and he also said it really quietly as well, so I didn't even hear him. And he just continued on with the conversation, like he didn't give me time to respond or even think about it. And he didn't even speak very loudly when he said it, so he just sort of said it and then carried on speaking. And so, it didn't really give me time to respond. I obviously would have said no because I'm actually gay, so I would have said no to him. But it was just one of those situations that I've picked up on where you're not giving you're not giving that person time to respond to you, and so make sure that you do give them that time to respond if you are saying this to them in person. And even when you're saying it to them over text or something, you want to give them time to respond. You don't want to just like send that message and then if they haven't replied within an hour, say something else. Just give them time to respond, because they might see the message and think, oh, I need to think about this for a bit. And so just give them that time and space to think about it if they need to think about it. So then if they say, yeah, I'd love to, then the best thing for you to do, seeing as you are the one that asked them out, how about we meet at this time, at this place, something like that. Make concrete arrangements with them. Don't leave it up in the air. Don't go into the old... so what would you like to do? Where would you like to go? And then they have to say something like, oh, I'm not sure. And you kind of have that weird back and forth of you two being kind of undecisive about where to go. So when you do ask someone out, kind of have a place in mind where you would like to meet them. And the reason why it's a good idea to ask if they would just like to go out for a drink with you is, when you start, when you go on that date with each other and you're having that drink, you can have a little conversation with each other and you can kind of vibe how things are going. And if things aren't going great and you actually realize yourself that you don't really want to continue this, then it's much easier to leave, as opposed to if you meet up for dinner or go to a restaurant. Just ask to meet them for a drink, for a coffee somewhere or a tea. And then if you are really enjoying yourselves and you can tell that they are really enjoying themselves, then you can like stretch it out and go and have dinner somewhere, or go out for a walk somewhere, or go to the shops and go and browse with things together, go and do something else. So that's the reason why you ask them out when they're available for a drink. So when they tell you that, okay, I'm available this day or I'm available that day, pick one of the days and have a place in mind where you can meet up for drinks, and then they'll probably say yes, that'll be fine, and then you can make the times and make the arrangements to what time to meet and stuff like that. However, if they say no, or you can kind of tell that they're a bit on the fence and they're a bit unsure and something like that, and you can kind of tell that they're not very enthusiastic about it, then basically if someone's not enthusiastic about it, just take that as a no. Or if they're giving you mixed signals, just gracefully take it as a no. But if they might just tell you, sorry, I'm not interested, which is personally the best response you can get, because then at least you know. But whereas if someone's giving you mixed signals, they're kind of like, I'm not sure, or I'm kind of busy, and they don't really give you any times, I assume that's a no as well. And then if they do reject you and they don't really want to go out with you, then all you need to say then is just, oh, okay, well, let me know if you change your mind, and just take it as a compliment, and then simply remove yourself from the situation. Try not to, I know it's going to be hard, but try not to show how disappointed you are, because it may make the situation awkward. And basically you want to give off this essence of you're very easygoing and it's not bothering you too much, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, just let me know if you change your mind, or just take it as a compliment. Just be very easygoing about it, because if you're easygoing about it and you don't look distraught, basically, then that will probably change how they actually see you a little bit, because they're like, oh, well, this person actually doesn't really mind that much that I rejected them. Usually I get a different kind of response when I reject someone. And it may make them second guess whether or not they should have actually said yes. So, and if they second guess if they actually said yes, and you've said to them something like, let me know if you change your mind, or drop me a message if you want to take up the offer, then they may actually do that once they see that you have a really good attitude about it. And they might think, oh, actually, you know what, this person's kind of cool. They're very easygoing. They're very positive about the situation, even though I rejected them. They handled it really well. this person seems really emotionally stable, perhaps I should reach out to them and say, hey, how are you? And try to, see if I can get them to ask me out again or something. So you kind of want to have that attitude of being very easygoing about it and not being too emotionally invested in this kind of situation, even if you are. Because, if you are really emotionally invested in this person, then it's not their fault. It's not their job to make you feel better about it. You have to deal with that pain yourself, because it's your pain. It's your situation. So let them off the hook by being easygoing about it and showing that you're not distraught, even if you are, okay? Because like I said, it's not their fault that they don't like you. And it's not their job to feel guilty about rejecting you when they can't help it if they're just not interested. So deal with it yourself, just put on a face about it, and you should do fine. And just be very, very light-hearted about it. And in my opinion, I think that's the best way that you can tell someone and show someone that you like them, because some people think that just asking someone out isn't enough. But it is. When someone asks you out, and a lot of people know this, it means that this person likes me. Like when someone comes up to you and asks you out, they're doing this because they like you. You don't have to treat this person like an idiot. If you're asking them out, they know the reason why you're asking them out is because you like them. So you don't need to elaborate. You don't need to make things even more clear for them, because it is clear enough. And if you do really like them, then they probably might already have an inkling that you like them anyway. They might have a clue already, especially if you do know this person and you've known them for some time. They probably might be unsure, or they might be a little bit aware that you like them. So don't treat them like an idiot. They probably know. And most people, not all the time, but most people know that when someone asks them out, it's because they like them. Anyway, I hope this video has helped you. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com/shop. And I shall talk to you guys again very soon. Goodbye, guys.